Hey, it's Adam, and in this video I'm going to explain to you how to become enlightened. Now, spiritual enlightenment is one of the most fascinating topics that I have ever come across in my life. It is completely paradigm shattering, and a lot of people don't like to talk about it because it basically takes everything you think you know about the world and how it works and just throws it in the garbage because it's all wrong and it's all bullshit, basically. So in this video, I'm going to explain to a newbie what spiritual enlightenment is and also why you would want to attain it for yourself and also how you can do that. So this is a crazy video, to be honest. This is really high level stuff. It's simple. It's very easy to understand, but the bottleneck is that people in general aren't open-minded enough to accept radical possibilities. But if you're interested in understanding how reality works and you're interested in discovering the truth of your being, like your true nature, then spiritual enlightenment says that it is possible for you to do that in this lifetime. And not only is it possible, but it's extremely worthwhile. Because discovering your true nature, believe it or not, also accompanies extremely high vibrational emotions like love and bliss and joy. And you'll be able to live authentically, and you'll be able to be a creative person in your life. You'll be able to create the type of life that you want. So let's talk about spiritual enlightenment. What is spiritual enlightenment? Okay, so again, we're going to open our mind. We're going to temporarily suspend what we think reality is as I explain what spiritual enlightenment is. So basically, spiritual enlightenment is the possibility for you to discover what reality is in your direct experience right now. So in order to even entertain this as a possibility, we have to practice not knowing. So for a second, just notice in your direct experience, notice that you don't know what reality is. So look, oh my God. Okay, I have a body. Okay, look, there's a body here. There's reality. Okay, look, there's a reality somehow. I don't know how, but okay, there's a reality here. Okay, I'm talking. Okay, good. Now, become conscious of how. How is there a reality? What? Reality? What the fuck? Where did this shit come from? I didn't choose to be born. How is there anything? How is there anything happening at all? What the hell is this life? What? I have memories, I have stories, I have this experience here. Where the fuck did it come from? And how is it existing right now? You have to become conscious of that. Become conscious of you currently don't actually know what reality is. Okay? That's very important. So now that we don't know what reality is, now we have opened up the possibility of actually discovering what reality is. Because when you're willing to admit that you don't know something, now you're willing to investigate for yourself. So notice how I'm not saying that you can't know what reality is. I'm just saying that currently you don't know what reality is. And what spiritual enlightenment says is that you can have a direct experience for yourself. It has nothing to do with beliefs or or ideologies or dogmas, nothing like that. You don't have to believe anything. All you have to do is look for yourself and directly experience right here what reality is. It's possible for you to do that. Now, as we do more spiritual enlightenment work, what it is, it's basically you sitting down and closely observing your direct experience and trying to get rid of any concepts or thoughts or beliefs of what you think reality is, to throw all that shit in the trash, because that's all garbage. That's all absorbed from culture and indoctrination and parents and false beliefs. All that shit's garbage. Whatever you think reality is, throw that in the trash. That's BS. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to empty our cup. We're going to empty it out, and we're just going to sit and be, and we're going to see whatever's left when we sit with an empty cup. So our mind, we're going to open ourselves up to the possibility that we don't know what reality is. Okay, so maybe I'm not even a human being. Maybe that's just a thought that I made up. Okay, I'm going to look. Okay, what actually is reality? So as you do a lot of this practice, what spiritual enlightenment basically points to is that you, as a self, don't exist. So just imagine, just open your mind to the possibility, for example, that you, as a body, as a self, so the idea, become conscious of the fact that you exist. So actually call into your mind the fact that you exist. So what you think you are. So I think I'm Adam. Okay, and then train your awareness on what you think you are. Okay, so you have that. You're conscious of what you think you are. Now, what spiritual enlightenment says is that that thing is bullshit. Bullshit is actually a very technical term here, meaning that it's wrong. It's an illusion. It's not the truth. You aren't actually what you think you are. So like you have a whole story. You're like, hey, I'm 20 years old. I have a family. I'm Italian. I have I have all these interests and hobbies and personality traits. All of that is a story. So now it's extremely, extremely important to differentiate between what is a story in my mind, what's a story, and what is actually in my direct experience. So these are two different things. So you have direct experience here. So you have a hand. Take out your hand and look at it, right? Okay, so I got a hand here. Okay, I got a hand. So look at the hand. That's the direct experience. You have it right here. Just the direct experience of the hand. Now, notice you also have a thought about what the hand is. You have a thought about it. A concept. This was absorbed from your culture. So you have the direct bare experience of this thing, and then you also have the thought of, okay, this is a hand, it's biological, it's made of cells, it's my hand, it's made of bones, it can move, there's, I'm a biological entity that is observing the hand. So you have the concept, thought, story. Now, as a being, what your job is in reality is to create a mental model of what you think the world is. You have to create and construct a worldview for yourself so that you can survive, so that you can live an effective life, so that you can get food and money and sex. Now, what spiritual enlightenment is doing is basically saying fuck you to all of your survival needs, basically. So spiritual enlightenment is basically saying, so everything you think you are and everything you think you know is bullshit, because all concepts, all thought stories are basically wrong. So everything you think is wrong. Now, a lot of people don't understand what this means or how this is useful. So remember, what we're interested here is having a direct experience of our true nature. And the number one obstacle that prevents you from experiencing your true nature, which is right here, it's right here in the present moment. Your true nature isn't somewhere else. It's not in the future. It's not in the past. It's right here. You are your true nature right now. But you have the obstacles, which are your concepts and thoughts, and the belief that you already know what is true. That's the biggest obstacle. So you thinking that you already know what reality is, that is the biggest obstacle for you in this process of discovering for yourself what reality is. Because you already think you know what it is. Now, for some very weird reason, I personally am very open-minded and also very curious. And I stumbled upon this idea of spiritual enlightenment when I was 16 years old. And immediately I was able to intuitively recognize that this thing is an important thing. And not everyone is at that level, and it's okay, I understand. But you, if you're watching up until this point in the video, then you probably intuitively recognize that what Adam is talking about right now on the camera is important. And that's why I want to share with you some very powerful techniques, or one very powerful technique for how you can discover your true nature as like what you actually are, like what reality is. So the number one technique, first of all, is to be open-minded and realize that you don't know what is true. You don't know. You don't know what is true. So now, since you don't know what is true, now you have the responsibility and the task to go out there and discover what is true for yourself. So not to even go out there, but to actually turn inwards and observe this present experience very closely and see what it is. Because when you do that, everything you think you know is going to crumble. And you're not going to like that, because you have an entire life, right? So when you're walking your dog on the sidewalk, right, you're going to be walking, you have a whole life, you got a family, you got stuff to do, you have all that stuff. Spiritual enlightenment says, fuck you to all that stuff, because all of a sudden, there is the possibility that you are dreaming. All of a sudden, there is the possibility that everything you think is real is actually a dream. It's illusion. And I don't mean a dream in the sense of like I'm sleeping and then I'm going to wake up and then that's going to be the real reality after I wake up. No, I mean that everything that is here is nothing but just consciousness, empty mind, and ultimately nothing matters. And the reason why nothing matters is because nobody exists. There is no self. The self is an illusion. It's made up. that's why nothing matters, because there's no one there for anything to matter to. So what you've done is you have imagined that you exist. You've literally made up that you exist. Because what your existence relies on is a bunch of thought stories and beliefs. Your existence is kind of like, it's like the dictionary. So when I go into the dictionary and I want to find what a word means, right? I want to find what the word spirituality means, right? So I'm going to go in the dictionary, I'm going to look up spirituality, and I'm going to see the definition of spirituality. What I'm going to find is not what spirituality actually is, but I'm going to find other words that explain what spirituality is. So everything in the dictionary is self-contained because all of the words are defined against each other. So there is nothing to ground anything. There's like all the words are defined against each other. So in the same way, all of your beliefs about reality aren't grounded in anything tangible or physical. The beliefs are only grounded in other beliefs. In the same way that in a dictionary, the words are defined by other words. So what we have is a house of cards, basically, a self-contained system. So when you realize that all of your beliefs, so you have this belief, I am the body. This is the core belief, I am the body. This belief is held up by all the other beliefs, all the beliefs about the world and how it works, and the earth, and science, and history, and all spirituality, all that stuff. All of these are beliefs, they're concepts, and they don't have any tangible reality. The only tangible reality that is real is your direct experience. You know why? Because it's right here. It's right here. This is what it is. Here. But you have thoughts about what you think the direct experience is. So you have thoughts about what is this direct experience? Oh, it's a universe, and I'm on the earth, and I'm a body, and I exist. But you never investigated any of this for yourself. All you did was just believe other people, basically. And what spiritual enlightenment says is that if you give a shit about discovering what is actually true, because, I've been born into this world, there's nothing else for me to do, really, except figure out what the fuck it is, to be honest. Because, I can go make some money, I can go have sex, that's all cool. You can do that too. Okay, so spiritual enlightenment doesn't say that you have to go and sit in a cave and be a monk. It doesn't say that. But your ultimate goal, your highest goal, the highest, the most important thing to be doing is to be conscious and aware of the present moment and to try and realize what it is, what it actually is. Not what you think it is, not what someone else told you it is, not what science told you it is, not what religion told you the present moment is, but what it is for you now. Because that's what it is. It's pure being. Now let's talk about some practices that you can use to actually become spiritually enlightened and to have direct insight into the nature of the present moment. So number one is you're going to have to do a lot of research for yourself. Now, a lot of teachers will say that you don't have to research, but I think you actually do have to read a lot of books and study a lot of different perspectives and teachers that talk about spiritual enlightenment. And the reason why you have to do that is because on this path, there's a lot of traps. It's a very difficult path. There's thousands of traps. So if you don't study and research spiritual enlightenment and what it actually is, then you're going to fall into a trap and you're going to waste your entire life in a circle jerk of one of these traps. So study the masters, basically. Study Peter Ralston. Study Ramana Maharshi. Study Leo Gura. Study Nisargadatta Maharaj. Study Buddhism. Study Ken Wilber. There's so many amazing teachers, spiritual teachers out there, and it's not bullshit. They're telling you real shit, and all of them are insanely awakened, and it's your job to listen to them because they can point you towards discovering what reality is, and that's actually important for you because you care about the truth just for the sake of the truth. You don't care about if the truth is going to help me, because spoiler alert, discovering your true nature is not useful for you. It's not going to give you more money. The truth, in fact, is the only thing in reality that has no use at all. It's useless. It's useless because it actually transcends the notion of use. Because the truth has nothing to do with your ego. It has nothing to do with your separate self. It has to do with your true nature as non-egoic awareness. Pure emptiness, relaxation. So be warned that when you're interested in discovering spiritual enlightenment, there are ideas that you're going to have to stomach that you won't like it. It's not, they don't go down gently. A lot of shocking and harsh truths are going to be, you're going to have to accept. But it's not a bad thing. It's a fun thing. It's nice. It's cool. It's fun to have your mind blown. It's like, oh my God, reality is not physical? Wow, that's cool. I'm not attached to my beliefs. I'm not attached to what I think reality is because I recognize already that I don't know what the fuck is going on here in this present moment. So I'm not attached to what I think reality is. So I'm open to new perspectives. I'm open to new, crazy, radical perspectives. Right? So do your research, and then the other way to discover your true nature. There's two more practices that I'm going to give you now. Is number one is self-inquiry. So self-inquiry is a style of meditation where I'm going to have to make another video about it because I can't explain how it works here because it's a little bit complicated. But you basically sit and you ask yourself the question, who am I? And you try and get a direct experience of who am I? And you let go of all the thoughts and concepts and beliefs and stories, and you try and directly grasp the answer to who am I? And the answer isn't going to be a word. It's not going to be an idea. The answer is going to be right here. It's going to be the truth. And the last practice that you can use is basically anything that raises your consciousness. So meditation, yoga, psychedelics, all of these things are going to help you observe reality more accurately. Because that's what spiritual enlightenment is. It's an accurate perception of reality and how it actually is, how it actually works. And in order to do that, you have to raise your awareness. You have to become more aware of the present moment. And that's what this channel is all about. So thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, leave it a like, leave it a thumbs up, comment your questions, concerns, misunderstandings. I love listening to your comments. Subscribe because I make videos like this. Check out my most recent video, it's where I share a very powerful meditation practice that's going to help you become spiritually enlightened, or at least it's going to help you start off on that journey. It's perfect for beginners. If you think this video is important, share it, do all that stuff. Good. Stay up to date. I release videos every single week, so you can expect to see a video every single week from me. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.